Hello, everybody. Chris here again, owner and chief digital architect here with No Boundaries Marketing Group. And in today's new client onboarding video, we're going to talk about Google My Business. So what is Google My Business? A lot of clients, they quite honestly really don't know what value this particular profile provides. And so we're going to clarify that and really help you understand what you're going to get from this. But Google My Business is a profile that we call the gateway to Google, really. It's what gets you listed on Google Maps and in really the local search results. And so that's why it's so important. You know, it's the foundation of really your business online, in addition to your website. So very easy to set up, very easy to manage and maintain. And in fact, one of the things I'm going to ask everybody to do today is, if you haven't done it already, please download the Google My Business app from your app store. So whether you have an Android or an Apple device, just go to your Play Store and then download that app, because this is how you're going to manage this moving forward. I'm going to make your life really, really easy. For those that aren't really tech savvy and you guys prefer to do it on the desktop, we can still manage that way too. It's not a big deal. Again, hopefully I can work you into that app down the road. But for right now, like I said, for those who do have it, who already have a profile, or even don't for that matter, please do me a favor, go to your phones real quick, download that Google My Business app, because it'll make things a lot easier on all of us moving forward. So what if you already have a page set up? Fantastic. We're going to walk you through giving us access to that. It's very, very easy, but it's very, very important that we do get access to it, so that, again, we can optimize profiles, we can make sure everything's linked properly, so on and so forth. So again, next steps are going to be talking about how to give us access to a page that's already set up. What if you don't have a profile set up? You know what? Your job just got a lot easier, because we're going to take care of it for you. So we'll go through, we'll set up a Google My Business profile for you. And then once it's optimized, we'll actually give you access to it. And I stress to all clients, you guys always own your own profiles. We never claim them and keep ownership of them. You know, we build these for you. So again, as a service. So again, we'll go through how to give us access here in these next upcoming slides. So if you have an app already, very, very simple on the left-hand side. So whether you're on a desktop or an app, really, it doesn't matter. We're looking for the users tab. So when you log into your profile, and again, I will show on the desktop here in just a second what this process looks like. But on the left-hand side, you should see a little button for users. You're going to add a user. You're going to enter in our email addresses. And now these are flashed here, but you'll also have these in an email as well. So again, you're going to want to give our profiles access. And the reason why we have multiple profiles, we have different teams that do different things, and they all utilize things differently. So like our MCC account is for our paid ads team, our SEO account is for obviously our SEO team, and then our main account is for our reporting system. So again, we utilize these differently. The user role is always going to be manager. We don't need owner access. We certainly don't need primary owner. That's going to be you. But again, these are things you just want to make sure that we double check it. Give us manager access to each of these. And once you've confirmed the email address, it should come up with our little icon with our logo on it. And then you should just tap send and we're good to go. Again, I'll walk you through this on a desktop, but it's a really easy process. This is what it looks like once we get reporting and stuff like this. And again, I'm going to walk through this here in just a minute, but there's an incredible amount of data that we pull from this. And so, you know, it validates whether changes we're making are working, we're showing growth, all sorts of stuff, what clients are doing on your profile. So it's really just, I can't stress it enough. We've got to get access to this, and we got to make sure that this is one of the first things that we get set up for your business. So again, we have a team of client success managers that are standing by. If you have any questions, concerns, anything that you need help with, you will obviously have a dedicated client success manager to you, but you know, if for some reason they're not available, anybody on our team can help you. And they're more than willing to walk you through this just to get it done. So if you want to do that ahead of your onboarding meeting, fantastic. And if you don't, and you just prefer to wait, no problem. You know, whatever works best for you. But please, you know, I know Google can be frustrating. I know it can be difficult, especially if you have issues with getting access to profiles and stuff like that. Try not to stress out. Try not to get frustrated with it. We're gonna resolve this for you. So one way or another, we'll make sure that we get this all taken care of. That's one of our commitments to success. So we'll make sure to take care of you. Now, next up, we're going to walk through actually giving access. So again, for those that already have a profile here, just hang out for just another minute. I'll walk you through this. And then I'll also show you some of the things that are important about a profile. Now, the easiest thing to do, and I stress this to businesses, is that you got to make sure that when you're logging in, you're logged into the profile that exists on Google My Business. So if you set it up under whatever email address you set it up under, you got to be logged into that email in order to get access to it. Now, all of ours, this is my personal. Obviously, I'm going to go down here to our work one. And so on the business, this is where all of our business profiles are housed. So you can click on the little Rubik's Cube of Wonder for Google Apps, and then right there. Now, if you don't have this, chances are you probably didn't set up the profile under this, but you can also type in Google My Business and get access to it that way here. We're going to go simple. We're just going to click on this, and this will log us in. So once this gets opened, you're going to notice here, obviously, we have a number of businesses that we manage. I'm going to actually show you mine just so that we can walk through a few things on it as well. Most notably, or most important here, you're going to notice on the left-hand side, obviously, the business information. So if you've already set it up, everything should be fairly accurate. And if not, we'll optimize it for you, so don't worry. The one thing that I'm going to have you click on is going to be info. And again, what we need to make sure of, and this is what our client success managers will walk you through here, do we have all your categories set up? You know, most common, I actually find clients that only have one, maybe two. And yet there's probably 5, 6, 10 that they might be applicable for them. So we want to make sure that this is optimized so that you're showing up for the categories for your products and services that you actually provide. Next up is address. Now, a lot of clients, they have maybe they're consultants and they work from home, or they don't want to see clients at a particular office, whatever the case may be. This right here, this is really important when you're setting up a profile. You do have to put an address in there. So if it's your home, that's, it is what it is. We got to do that. Just remember, we can take this off. So if you're a service-based business and you don't want somebody walking into your house one day, I get that. You're going to want to make sure we put this in there. And then when we're done, we just click on this little button right here to clear the address. That'll turn this into a service-based business. And then we have the service areas right here that we fill out. So again, potato, service-based business or brick and mortar, it doesn't really matter. We're going to use one of these two, but everybody does this to start out, and then we'll delete that for those service-based businesses down the road. Next up, hours of operation. I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but these are the hours that you're answering the phone. If somebody can walk in your store or you're answering your phone during those hours, that's what we want to put here. I get it. I have clients that'll say, well, you know what? I'm open on Saturday and Sunday, but really it's by appointment. I really don't want to be open. I want to spend time with my family. You got to do what's right for your business, and you're going to have to make a decision. If you show open, I always say, from a client experience standpoint, you need to make sure you're answering the phone. And if you don't, well, then you're going to possibly create a negative client experience, and they could look on to another competitor of yours for whatever product or service. So just do yourself a favor. List the correct hours of operation. Don't just list 24 hours. A lot of people try that. It just doesn't work right. More hours if you have extended hours or different things. Holidays right here. This is the big one. So again, if you're closed on a specific holiday, set the right expectations, especially if you're a restaurant, doctor's office. Again, if like for us this week, we're closed on New Year's Eve, so we're trying to give our employees a little extra time with their families. We're also closed on New Year's Day, so they get a 4-day weekend, and that can be challenging for some businesses. Most businesses are still open on New Year's Eve, and so we're open. I'm going to be answering the phones for my clients. However, my employees aren't. So again, I could easily mark off closed, right? Next up, phone number, pretty self-explanatory. You can add additional phone numbers here if you have them, like fax lines, stuff like that. This is your handle, Google calls it your profile short name, but it's just like a Twitter handle or a Facebook handle there. So again, you're going to want to make sure to fill that out. So ours is Noble Marketing. This will play a big role moving forward here to solicit reviews, to send people your profile so that they can give you reviews and stuff like that. This is a good one. This is your website here. Again, we have a tracking code built into ours, but again, this is for your website here. Well, if you do SEO with us, chances are we'll probably put a tracking code in here as well for you. But again, this all ends up at our website anyway. So appointment links, this is for our CRM so that, again, clients can book appointments with us directly on Google. And here's your products and services. The difference between the two, we don't provide products, we have services. So again, we have nothing listed here for that reason. So you just need to ask yourself, do you have a product or do you have a service? Do yourself a favor. Don't list products. Like if you're a service-based business, don't put your stuff up in products. Again, it's just a pet peeve of mine. That's not how you optimize a profile. But under services here, this is obviously what we do and all the things that we offer. Now you scroll down here. Next up, you have attributes. So again, attributes are just little things: wheelchair accessible entrance, what amenities you provide, so on and so forth. If you click on this little edit, you can add, we're a woman-owned business. My wife awesome, awesome woman, leads this company like just crazy. She's great. So we're a woman-owned business. If you're a Black-owned business, veteran-owned business, those are other attributes you can add in there. The big one here is health and safety. A lot of people want to understand, how do we do business? Now, obviously, for a marketing company, not many people are coming into our office. However, I will say if you're a restaurant, a retail store, people want to know, do I need to wear a mask? Are your staff taking precautions? So on and so forth. That's still, with COVID being around, there's still a lot of concerns out there. So do yourself a favor and make sure that this is optimized. Next up, we have obviously our business description here, when we were opened, and then you'll learn one big thing from us. We push for photos. So Google really, really, really wants you to add photos to your profile. And I'll talk more about this here in a minute. But that's your info as in a nutshell here. Next up, we have insights. Again, this is what we use pretty much almost every week. We look at these different things to see how the business is progressing, where data is going, so on and so forth. So tons of information in here. You can manage your reviews here. Google has a new calls feature. We'll talk about that in a whole nother video. But again, calls, messages, like this is an attempt at Google's two-way communication with consumers. Photos, again, if you didn't notice, they have a lot of emphasis on photos, product services. If you don't have a website, Google will offer you a free little mini kind of landing page. It's pretty horrible, but it's better than nothing. So I always stress to clients, if nothing else, if you're just starting out, if you're a startup, use it. It's really not all that bad. I shouldn't say horrible. That's probably not a great explanation or descriptor. Last but not least, the most important thing on here, once we get this profile optimized, is posts. And this is, again, why I stress downloading the app, because if you have the app, this is very easy to do for you. So with Google Posts, what you're going to do in here, you have offers, what's new, events. You can share a ton of information. So just like whatever you're posting on Facebook or other social media channels, you really need to make sure you're posting here as well. Why? Because, again, it shows Google that you're engaged, that you're active business, and you're going to get kudos for that. Let me tell you, these are things that they return their weight in gold. So if you have the app on your phone, it's a lot easier to do. But if not, again, you can do it from the desktop device. I wouldn't say more cumbersome, but just a different way to do it. For me, it's more efficient on a phone. So as always, if you have any questions, any concerns, anything that you guys want to go over, I promise you we're going to walk through this in your onboarding. We're going to go into more detail on everything. But again, if you need something from us, our client success managers are only a phone call away or an email away from that matter. You should have already received your introduction email from your client success or assigned client success manager. So reach out, stay engaged, keep communicating. That's how you're going to get the most out of your program. And in the, for the meantime, just like I said, don't get frustrated with this. We're here to walk you through it, and we appreciate your time, and thank you for joining our family. We'll talk to you soon.